Welcome to my channel. My name is Tanya. Thank you for being here. Today I am going to do a review of the new Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate Concealer and Blush Duo. Now, these products are extremely overpriced and I don't think anything is worth that kind of money. However, I did wear this all day yesterday. I'll insert clips of me at the end of the day, at the beginning when I applied it, so you guys can see how all of these products wear. Now, a couple of things before I get into it. First of all, if I was not doing YouTube and if this wasn't like a part-time job for me, I definitely would not even consider picking these products up. There are so many other good concealers, blushes that are still luxurious that aren't $90. Yes, these are $90 a piece. Second of all, I obviously wanted to review it for you guys so you guys do not have to spend the money, or if you are just like make it rain and really are interested in this, I will give you my honest reviews and tell you if it's worth it or not. So if you are interested in my thoughts, I'm going to apply a full face. I'm also going to use my Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate foundation, which is one of my babies. I do really enjoy it. And I think because I enjoy this so much, I really was so curious about the concealer. So if you are interested, continue watching. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe down below and let's put some makeup on. So I have already primed my skin. I use my Supergoop Glowscreen, and I also used my Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer just in the pore area. Now, moving on to this foundation, I've done a review on this one. The color is a little bit off. I have 2.7 and I think it's a little light for me right now. And so I'm going to mix it with a little bit of this. This is the Armani number 6, and this has quite a lot of olive undertone. And so I think these will work. This has always been just a dot to pink on me. It's not terrible. I make it work, but it's just not my all-time perfect match. If I were to repurchase it, I'm sure I would pick a different color, but I'm just gonna mix these two. This is probably not smart for a makeup review. Okay, all right, so I will take one pump of my Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate. This is in 2.7, and this is in Armani Luminous Silk number 6. So this is still a little bit light for me, but I can make it work. I will put some bronzer and we'll be just fine. Okay, moving on to the concealer. So the story is I saw that they're coming out with this one. It was in stock at my Nordstrom. I went, the lady there kind of helped me pick up a shade, and I got home, started recording in the shade I didn't like at all. It was just a little bit gray. So initially when I put it on, it seemed fine, and then it oxidized into this kind of grayish tone. So I went back, I swapped it with another color, and I haven't tried this color, so we'll try it together. The first color I got was the 2NC, I think. And then the new color I got is the 2WO Beige. Again, this concealer is a $90. You do not even get that much. You get 0.18 ounces. So it looks kind of big, but it's not that much more. My Makeup Forever is 0.16. So this is slightly more than this one. However, the packaging is very nice. It's very luxurious. It is the same as my Tom Ford foundation. They match, they feel nice and heavy, and the packaging is luxurious. Now, this concealer is supposed to be a skincare as well. It's supposed to have hyaluronic acid. Let me read what it says about this concealer, because for $90, it better have the best description ever. Okay, so it says this is a Nordstrom exclusive crease-proof concealer that helps boost skin's radiance and even skin tones. And what it does, this is a medium coverage, buildable, waterproof concealer, merges three-dimensional skincare with three-dimensional radiance. Infused with hyaluronic acid, it smooths, moisturizes, and obscures redness, dark and dry circles, and fine lines to create a flawless base for foundation. So this is not the first time I am trying this concealer. Again, I did a full day wear test on the video, like yesterday. I recorded, and that was going to be my main video. There was something about it that I didn't like. I felt like I was kind of like trying to find words to describe things. I didn't love the lighting, so I was like, I'm just gonna record it again because it's such an expensive product that I wanted to give you my full thoughts after wearing it a full day. So if you don't know, I usually cover my dark circles with a corrector. And so I did not do that because I did not want to disturb with the formula. Now, the color yesterday was off. I felt like it was just looking a little bit bright, but also a little gray. So it's supposed to be more of a neutral, have a little peachy undertone, but to me it turned kind of pink, and pink is no bueno for me. So let's try this new color, the 2W0 Beige. I will say the applicator is a very bouncy. So this is it's kind of like a paddle, I guess. And then if you see, it's so flexible, which I actually really like. So I will swatch the color right here. This is the 2W, and I will swatch my Makeup Forever in number 30 next to it. And I usually either use number 30 or 31 in the Makeup Forever. So that's Makeup Forever. That is Tom Ford one. Let me swatch a couple other ones. So this is the old Tom Ford concealer. This is just the concealer, I think. And mine is in number 4. And I'll swatch it next to it here. Right there. It's a little bit brighter, but what I found with this concealer, the new Tom Ford Shade Illuminate, is that it almost gets brighter throughout the day. So the color isn't accurate to how you swatch it. Because, you know, I kind of know what color I am in concealers. So when I swatched the other one, the 2N, I was like, oh, that's perfect for me. And as I was working it in, I felt like it was just getting pretty light. I'm gonna swatch my Lancome right here. This is the Lancome concealer that I have. Again, as you can see, I feel like it got a little bit brighter. So the Lancome is the 250, I think, Bisque W. Yes, 250. And this is a little bit light for me. I wanted to pick another one, but the color I wanted was out of stock. So this one right here is usually a little bit too light for me. And then let's swatch the new Anastasia. So for new Anastasia, I have 2 colors, so I kind of swap them back and forth. The number 6 is right here, and then I have number 11. I will say that I use both number 11 to kind of conceal, and 6 is a little bright by itself. So this is the number 6 right here from the Anastasia, and number 11. And I feel like if I were to combine these, I would get the Tom Ford color. So these are some of the concealers that I've been wearing lately, and that way you can kind of tell. I'm also going to swatch the Chanel concealer. This is in number 20 Beige. And it's right here. And this is the Chanel in number 20 Beige. Okay, one more. The Makeup Forever in number 31, because when I'm self-tan, this is what I wear. And right now I am a little bit self-tan. So let's put it right here at the end. So this is the Makeup Forever number 31, and this one kind of matches me right now. And I feel like this is kind of close with the Tom Ford. Okay, let's finally put this on. So a couple of things. about this concealer, since I have thoughts already. This has the most interesting formula. It is kind of creamy. It kind of gets settled fast, and it kind of feels a little sticky in the best way possible. When you try to blend it in, it feels like it's almost wanting to stay where you put it, a little bit like the One Size Patrick Star concealer. However, it is so smoothing and glowy, and it doesn't have any dryness to it. You have time to play with this concealer, but one thing that I've learned about it, once you put it on, I wouldn't layer and layer and layer because of the texture. It's such an interesting texture. I still don't know how to fully describe it, but it settles and it doesn't move, but it still has a glow. So it's almost like it has some sort of stickiness to it, but it doesn't feel sticky. It just kind of looks still glowy. Of course, I already got some on my shirt. I was expecting it though. So I will work this in with a brush on one side, and I will also try the concealer. I haven't tried the concealer yet with this. I'm sorry. I'm also gonna try the beauty blender or the sponge. I haven't tried that yet, and I'm really curious to see how it will work. So this is how it looks like, just with a little bit the concealer here and here. And I think it's perfect. I don't want more coverage than this. For me, this is very good. I'm gonna take a beauty blender or sponge. It's still pretty damp. And let's see how this smooths it out. I haven't used a sponge in a long time. As I mentioned in my other video, I've been really enjoying them. Sonia G brushes and just brushes in general. So sponges haven't really been in my makeup kit for a while, but I really wanted to see the difference. So I think with a sponge it's a little bit lighter. It doesn't have quite as much coverage as with the brush, but they both look really, really good. I will add just a little bit more to see how it builds up. I remember yesterday building it up, and I tried to blend it with my finger, and I felt like that was moving the product underneath. Again, just because of that texture, like of the concealer, it feels like if you touch anything with it that's not like super smooth. Does that make sense? So your fingers, you know how you have prints on your fingers, like I feel like you can kind of see them if you use the finger, mostly after it sets. Okay, so this is with a sponge and this is with a brush. And honestly, I don't really notice a difference. I think they both look really good. If anything, the sponge gave me just a little bit more coverage, and probably I prefer that. Yeah, I think they're both looking really pretty. Again, I think I like the brush because it gives me just a dot more color. I get more use out of that, I don't know, $3 I just used on me. So yeah. Now, this I have worn all day yesterday. Probably, I want to say at least 15 hours, maybe, if I'm calculating right. We went out to eat outside and it was hot and we're all sweating. And at the end of the day, this has not budged. It hasn't moved one bit. It hasn't gotten in one crease. I was shocked. Now, if there's any difference at the end of the day in the video, it's probably just so the sparkles fell a little bit, but the actual mascara is still in place and it looked perfect. I was actually shocked. And I did powder one side and not the other. And the side that I powder was exactly like the other side. Like it almost made no difference. I will show you guys right now how it looks with the one side powder versus the other. Staying power is still the same, and I felt like throughout the day it didn't make a difference. So let's start with my Kosas, and I broke it. Look at this. I will fix it though. And I like flattened this, which is exciting. So I'm gonna put this on. I'm using this Wayne gauze, which it's either coming in stock soon or it is in stock right now. This is the airbrush, and it's absolutely my favorite brush from Wayne gauze. This is what I use every single day. So I'm gonna powder this side and show you guys how it looks. The concealer works so well with powder. I have no issues with that. I put just a little bit of powder right under the eyes, and this is how it looks like. I feel like it didn't really make a difference in the bad way. Like, I think it looks really good. I don't see texture. I don't see powder. Honestly, it kind of looks the same. This concealer has a glow to it. I think the most interesting thing about this concealer is, even though it's kind of sticky, like it's kind of tacky on application, and it has good coverage, it is still glowy. Even once you set it, even once you pat it out and it dries, there's still that glowiness in it. And I think that's what makes it unique, because in natural light, when I'm outside, I kept looking at my under eyes and it looked just glowy. It did not look matte at all. It just looked fresh, almost like it was my skin, but it's not a serum like formula. It's creamy. So it's just an interesting formula, but the result is a glowier under eye. But the coverage is good. Like, it's not full coverage. It's definitely medium coverage. You can build it up, but to me, when you start building it up, I think because of the texture, it can be a little bit heavier than I would like. So I really like it with just one good layer. I wouldn't go for 2 or 3. All right, so I will powder the other side just to even it out. But again, yesterday I did not powder both sides, and it looked the same at the end of the day. And I will powder a little bit here and here. So this is the concealer and foundation together. Again, I have the Shade Illuminate foundation and the Shade Illuminate concealer. I am going to put the rest of my makeup on. I am going to use maybe a few more Tom Ford products. I'm going to use my Shade Illuminate contour. This one right here. It has been in so many favorites, and I've been using it a lot. I'm almost getting to the bottom of that. So I'm going to put this on my brows and then come and show you guys the blush. So I put a little bit of contour on from the Shade Illuminate. I also have obviously my lipstick, my eyeshadow done and everything, but I didn't put any highlighter. And again, the Shade Illuminate, I wanted to just put just a little bit. That way we can actually see how this blush looks. Okay, so the blush comes in, you know, the regular box. It has one of these puffs inside. Again, I do end up throwing them away. And this is the blush. This is in the color 02 Explicit Flush, and it has like a mirror there, which I actually have used. So this is not the color I wanted. When I went to purchase it, I picked a different color, and I think she gave me this one by mistake. But I have already played with it yesterday, and I really like it. The color is just a little bit more corally than I was expecting. Let's swatch it right here. So this is obviously the more deeper shade, and this is the lighter shade. And the lighter shade doesn't look like much on the swatch, but when you put it on the skin, you can see it, and it is stunning. It has a little bit of a glow to this. I think it's the lighter one that has the glow. Again, it's not shimmery. It's not like you see this intense shimmer on your face, but it has a glow, and I'll show you when I apply it on. So let's take the lighter one. And this is a synthetic brush, and I think it picks up color, powder really, really well. And I will put the blush here. So this is more corally than you'd think. I thought that that lighter shade would be a little bit more neutral, a little bit more of a pinkish, but as you can see, it has quite a bit of coral in there. So that's just a little bit of the lighter shade, and I feel like it picks up better than you expect. It's more pigmented than I expected this to be. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but there is a glow there. So it is really beautiful and a little bit more intense than you would expect this to be. Now this one here, it's even more intense. It's really intense. With just one little dab, you get quite a lot of product. But I'm going to put both of the lighter ones first because the darker one will definitely take over. So this is the lighter shade, and it's so beautiful. It's soft, but it has enough pigment where you see it. My fear was that you wouldn't be able to see it on the skin as much, but you definitely can. You absolutely can. I wanted the lightest shade, the bronze rose something, but they didn't have it in stock, and they don't even have it at Nordstrom. I think Neiman Marcus may have it in stock, but you have to order it and everything. Okay, and now I'm gonna take the tiniest blob, like that. That's way too much. I'm gonna take it on my hand and add just a little bit here. I mean, it picks up a lot of product and it's very pigmented. Again, just a little bit. I'm gonna tap it on my hand and then apply it. So as you can see, this blush is very pigmented. I barely put any of that coral on. I mean, it was just a little dab, and it just gave me just a little bit more flesh to the cheeks. Yesterday, I put a little bit too much, and I was blushed, but you can definitely keep it more elegant, more clean, and it is so beautiful and glowy. It has no shimmer on it, but it has a glow to it, and I am not wearing any highlighter. The only glow that you see right here is from the blush. I am not wearing anything else on, and I'm not going to put any highlighter because I really don't think I need it. I think it's pretty and flush, and it has a radiance to it. So this is better than I expected. I will say that I was not excited about the blush. I wasn't even interested in buying it. Once I got there and swatched it and played with it, I thought maybe you guys would want to see what the hype is about for such an expensive blush. Again, the blush is $90, the concealer is $90. So that's a lot of money. I don't think anybody needs this. So now that everything is on, let me give you my final thoughts. Starting with the concealer. The concealer went on really well. I like the shade much more than the other one. There's a couple tricks with this one. I think when you are interested in a color, let it dry a little bit. Just wait enough to see how it oxidizes, because I found the colors to be a little bit tricky. I didn't love the undertones. I had a hard time picking the right one because on initial application, it looked really good, and I'm like, that is the perfect shade. And once you spread it out, it almost lightens and oxidizes a little bit. So that is something to consider, to make sure that if you're interested, make sure you get the right color. Second of all, it applied really well. It was no issue at all. It blended in super nice. I actually prefer it with a brush. I think I have a little bit more product and I'm not picking it up on the sponge and wasting some of the product. But it blended in just as beautifully as the sponge. It lasted all day long. I think that was the biggest shock, that at the end of the day it didn't move at all. It didn't fade. Throughout the day I was really inspecting it and I never felt like it faded. So that is a huge plus to this concealer, and it never got heavier or creasier. I think it actually looked better throughout the day. The more I wore it, the better it looked. And this has such a unique finish to the concealer. I'm trying to compare it to my Anastasia concealer that I've discovered lately, and it's so good. It is not the same. It's different. Pat McGrath reminds me a little bit of this one. This is not as full coverage as the Pat McGrath, and it has a little bit more of a glow. But again, it's such a unique formula. I don't have anything that's quite like this. Now, my Anastasia Beverly Hills concealer works almost just as good. It is so beautiful. It gives me the coverage. The color is easier for me to like pick, and it is literally a third of the price, and you get so much more product in that one. So for that, absolutely Anastasia wins. Now, if you are interested in this concealer and you have the money, I don't think you're gonna regret it. I think it really is beautiful, but there's so many other beautiful concealers out there that is this worth it? Absolutely not. It is not worth $90. And if I were you, I would save my money and just invest in another luxury brand that the concealers are more like $30 instead of $90. Again, the packaging is beautiful. Apparently there's some skincare ingredients in there, but I don't really care about that. I already use my eye cream. I already use my other skincares that I don't need it in a concealer. And I wish that was in there and just give it to me for like $40, $50. But it is a good product. It's not worth the money. I'll leave it there. I think the strength of the concealer is the durability and the fact that it does not crease. Where you put it, that's where it stays, and you do not have to powder it. For some reason, it just stays. It just sticks to your skin, and that's where it stays. Moving on to the blush. I really loved the blush. I was more surprised about the blush than the concealer. I don't really have a blush from Tom Ford. I have the shade Illuminate like Duo, the highlighter with the blush. That is more of a Beige Gilet formula. So I don't have any of the powder Tom Ford blushes, and this really surprised me. This is the one that I'm like, this is nice. This is really nice. You do get two colors. Let's see how much product you get in here. You get 0.22 ounces. And I really like it. I'm surprised at how well it looks on the skin and how much I like it. Again, is this worth it? Absolutely not. You have Chanel blushes that are what, 40 something dollars, Laura Mercier blushes, Tower 28. There's so many other amazing blushes. The Patrick Ta, one of my go-to formula, just as good. I mean, this is so luxurious, and the packaging is nice. It's Tom Ford packaging, so obviously it's gonna be nice, but is it $90 nice? No. This is kind of like when you buy a purse. You could get a $100 purse or a $4,000 purse. They both do the same thing. They're practical. You're just paying for the name and the fact that it's a luxurious bag, and the $100 or $50 bag is probably just as good as the other one. Don't comfort me. I am not a luxury bag wearer or shoes. I would just destroy it. So those are my thoughts about this launch. Is it beautiful? Yes. Did it perform really, really well? Absolutely. Is it worth the money? I don't think so. So I hope this was helpful. I hope I gave you enough details. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I answer every single comment, and if I don't, it's because YouTube just randomly deletes certain comments. I've had a couple comments that I saw come in, and by the time I went to respond, I couldn't find them anymore. I think YouTube just deletes. I don't know how it works. However, if I see it, I will absolutely respond. So I love chit-chatting with you guys, and I love your thoughts on things. Again, this video was not planned. I didn't plan to do this one. I didn't even know that this is coming out, but I was just so intrigued by the price and how they are getting away with charging so much, and I wanted to give you guys all the details and all my thoughts that are raw and honest. So I hope again this was helpful, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.